Okay there. So I'm Hadar. I'm leading the development of the GoodDollar project, and I live in Israel in a small kibbutz. It's a true cooperative community, and today we'll talk about the new contracts that we are intending to deploy. Later, after we finish here, after we go over the contracts, then I'll also deploy the donation staking contract. If anyone here will want to get into the technical stuff, we'll do that also. The first contract that we are deploying soon, it actually will be officially, I think, in mid-January. I think it will be the official release. So what happens in the donation staking contract is that any user will be able to simply transfer ETH or DAI to the donation staking contract. It's on mainnet. You can just send ETH or DAI to the contract. In the donation staking contract is that any user will be able to simply transfer ETH or DAI to the donation staking contract. It's on mainnet. You can just send ETH or DAI to the contract, and once a day, someone needs to trigger the action to collect all the donations from the contract, and the contract will buy from Uniswap automatically. It will convert any ETH it has, it will convert it to DAI, and this will in turn be staked in our existing contract, the simple staking contract. This is the contract that currently eToro has 50K stake there. This contract, it invests the DAI, it invests it in the compound protocol, and this generates interest, which is transferred to the GoodDollar DAO daily, and basically this is what generates the UBI to the users. So soon on the GoodDollar website, everyone will be able to donate, and also tonight, if you're adventurous, you'll be able to test it also tonight through Etherscan. So the next one. Okay, the next contract. Okay, it started basically as a contract that I wanted to create, so we can infuse every node. It's a proof of stake, the Fuse blockchain that we are on. So all the GoodDollar wallets are basically are using Fuse, the Fuse network, and it's a proof of stake. So now it's possible to delegate your Fuse to the nodes running on Fuse. So even if you don't run a node, but you have some Fuse tokens and you want to earn interest or staking rewards for them, then you can delegate nodes, validator nodes on the Fuse network, and they will take a fee, maybe 10 or 15% off of the staking rewards, but you will get the 85% rest of them. So what I basically did just another smart contract that does the Fuse staking. So the smart contract stakes any Fuse that is being sent to him or deposited to the Fuse staking contract, and it stakes those Fuse through the Fuse consensus smart contracts. It stakes the Fuse in different nodes that are open for delegation. I did that with Bertrand here, that's here with his node. Basically, Bertrand is running a node. The Fuse, the GoodDollar Foundation is also running a node. And those nodes now generate every Fuse that's being delegated to them through the Fuse staking contract is generating staking rewards. And those staking rewards, the Fuse staking smart contracts automatically converts them using the new Fuse swap that Fuse released not long ago. It automatically buys GoodDollar's with the Fuse that he earned from the staking rewards, and he sends those GoodDollar's again back to the DAO, which then use those GDollars as part of the UBI and sends them back to the users. So
when it goes from FuseSwap to the DAO, is that going from FuseSwap over to mainnet?
No, everything here is on the Fuse sidechain and the whole UBI. So if we can, the previous contract, the donation, it's on mainnet because we want people to be able to donate DAI and ETH, and this is where most people funds are on the mainnet. So it is on mainnet, and the staking, the donation staking contract and the simple DAI staking contract, it's on mainnet, and we use the bridge to transfer the GDollars to the Fuse sidechain. Here, everything already happens on the Fuse sidechain, so it's much simpler. And basically, this is a buyback scheme. Not only the big corporation has a buyback scheme, this is also a buyback scheme. So theoretically, anyone that is long on Fuse can put more liquidity on the Fuse GoodDollar pair in Fuse swap, and he can be sure that our Fuse staking contract is going to buy from this pool daily, going to buy back GDollar for Fuse. He's going to buy them back daily and use those GDollars as an extra pool for the daily UBI scheme. And theoretically, this is a model that we could expand, to any blockchain that supports proof of stake. I think it's a good way to scale the UBI while also supporting other blockchains. Okay, so any questions so far?
So does this mean that essentially like a user could donate their GDollars to UBI distribution because they could buy Fuse with their GoodDollar's on Fuse
Right.
Swap and then stake it?
Yes, exactly. So first of all, I forgot this little part here that let's say that we earn, this contract earns 100 Fuse tokens, then we can set a percentage. In the future, it will be, of course, the DAO, not very far from now. We can set the percentage that is staked back if we earn some Fuse. We don't have to use all those Fuse tokens to buy GDollars back. Some of those Fuse tokens can also go back to keep generating more interest by restaking them in the Fuse consensus protocol. And to your question, yes, I was thinking about that. And the next feature that I will add to this to the Fuse staking contract is basically users taking their GDollars, buying Fuse tokens, the contract buying Fuse tokens with them and stake them to the Fuse consensus protocol. Yeah, definitely we see as an important feature to give to users basically is savings, easy savings or investment accounts. You can simply take your GDollar and stake them here in the Fuse staking and earn interest. Currently, in all of our staking contracts, all the earnings, all the interest is 100% donated at the moment. This is due to regulation, but hopefully once we release the DAO and we become truly decentralized, then we already have other versions of it that will also allow people to earn interest over their staking. Of course, the staking, everything that you stake, you can always pull it back, except it from the donations contract. That's donations. So definitely, I think it's exciting that people in very soon will be able to easily put their GDollars into, I guess, savings account. Maybe also on Fuse Swap. Maybe we'll also be able to buy a CDAI or any other interest-bearing tokens. Last slide. So basically, how you can contribute. This opens, of course, the simplest thing is to donate to the donation contract. It's a simple matter of doing a transfer. If you have Fuse, then you can stake your Fuse. Currently, as I said, 100% of the staking rewards are donated, but in the future you can earn GoodDollar's for these. You can actively provide liquidity to the Fuse GDollar pool on Fuse Swap, where we will do the buybacks from. You can also be a keeper of the smart contract because on most blockchains you don't have any timers or like or jobs that you can run automatically. So we need to run the method on the smart contract that does the operation to get the Fuse, buy them from the Fuse Swap, buy the GoodDollar's from Fuse Swap, transfer the GoodDollar's to the UBI contract. This operation needs to be triggered daily by someone external, usually our backend. But what I did here is that anyone that's triggering the operation to collect the UBI interest will earn a fee of 0.03% out of the GoodDollar's that are being transferred as UBI. Last but not least, if you're running a Fuse node, then you can talk with us and we can add it to the Fuse staking contract. Currently, the Fuse staking contract is sort of a round robin. Every time that someone will stake, it will delegate to the next node, to the next whitelisted node that we have on the list. So that's it. This is what I wanted to talk about, and of course now feel free to ask me anything about the project, about me, about Israel, whatever you want.
Okay, I got the first question then. If you just delegate directly to the GoodDollar Commons validator without going through the contract, is that still helping out GoodDollar, or is that personally just profit for me?
Basically, just sort of, I guess, profit for you, but in an indirect way, you're supporting the Fuse sidechain, which is critical currently for us. So,
my question is, do you see it beneficial providing liquidity to that pair on Fuse Swap versus the staking smart contract, or are both equally beneficial?
Well, I didn't think a lot about it. It's a good question.
Yes, currently I'm providing liquidity for the pair, the Fuse GoodDollar pair on FuseSwap. But after seeing this presentation, it seems like it might even be more beneficial to interact with the smart contract you just mentioned.
Well, basically the smart contract needs liquidity, so it's good that people provide liquidity because otherwise it's going to pay high prices to buy back the good dollar. So we want good dollars to be relatively cheap. And I think that, everything complements each other because if when we buy back the good dollars from for Fuse, then basically Fuse will be worth more relative to the good dollar. So so people that have good dollars can buy Fuse with good dollars. I don't know what can they do with Fuse. It depends on the Fuse utility, but so far Fuse seems to be innovating, and so I see in the future, of course, right now everything is very, very early, but in the future it opens the gateway for for people. What we're trying to do to open the gateway for people to the new economy, and Fuse has it has the Fuse swap, so it already opens the gateway for DeFi for a lot of people through good dollars.
Hey guys, I thought I'd say hello. So I think what you're doing, Hadar, is fantastic for good dollar and for Fuse. Really, it's really exciting. I think the way you're putting the two together and making it a whole ecosystem of interconnected contracts and staking and rewards and things like that. So yeah, it's fantastic. I think. So well done. Really impressed and really excited for the future. So I stake on the Fuse swap as well, and I can certainly add more liquidity, both good dollar and Fuse. Like I said, I missed the first 10 minutes.
Missed the first 10 minutes. What did you miss? I just I basically in the first 10 minutes I spoke about the contracts. Did you see those?
No, slide 5. I think the very last slide before the I think the questions was the one I came in on.
Okay.
So the one after that.
I just talked about the process of the two contracts, the two staking contracts that we will deploy soon. This is the donation staking contract that people will be able. This is on mainnet. People will be able to simply send ETH or DAI to the donation staking contract, and this in turn will buy. It will buy from Uniswap. It will exchange any ETH to DAI. And today we already have the simple staking contract that anyone can stake DAI, and it converts those DAIs on Compound to CDAI, and this is what generates the interest today that funds the UBI. The interest is sent over the Fuse bridge. First it's being converted. The interest in the CDAI interest is being converted to GDollars through the reserve on mainnet, and through the Fuse bridge, those good dollars are sent to Fuse, and this is what funds the UBI today. And what funds the UBI today is the simple staking contract, but now we are giving the options for people to simply donate. And what's nice about this is basically that this is perpetual donation. You donate it and it's going to generate interest basically forever, or until the DAO decides otherwise.
Hadar, how does that work? How's the simple donation work? Where is it going to? Is it going to a?
Yeah,
How's
so,
it generate interest? Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're familiar with Compound,
Yeah.
What happens here? People just send ETH or DAI to the staking contract. The staking contract stake it again in our current contract, the simple staking contract that we have today. Today, eToro so far has donated $50,000. The simple staking contract automatically, every day it earns interest because it buys CDAI right from Compound, and it simply holds CDAI, and the CDAI earns interest all the time. So once a day, what we do, we take this interest, and with the interest, we buy GoodDollar's from the reserve.
Yeah.
Okay, from the GoodDollar reserve. This is like the GoodDollar reserve is like it's like a liquidity pool, but it's different in a way that it can mint. Every time you buy from it, from the GoodDollar reserve, it means new GoodDollar's. So today, everyone can also go to this liquidity pool, to the GoodDollar reserve, and if you have CDAI, then you can buy GoodDollar's for CDAI.
So the donation staking contract, is that just a front end that allows anyone to get into the actual simple staking contract?
Yeah, this is just the front end to the simple staking contract that people can donate. If you want to support the project, then you can just donate. It's something very, very simple. A lot of people wanted to donate. So this is how you do it, I guess, in a sort of decentralized fashion.
Yeah, and so all the interest from that donation goes into the good dollar. You don't get anything back at the moment. Right. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah. For the donation staking contract, it will always be like that. And the simple staking contract, once we become, a DAO soon, then we will upgrade it to also pay back the interest to the people that stake.
Right. Is that going to be determined by the DAO? What percentage that will come back to?
No, it's going to be a decision of the staker, and he will be able to decide how much of the interest he wants to donate.
Yeah, that's good. Good. Yeah, nice and variable, so people can come in at whatever level they're looking at. Right. Yeah, good idea. Great.
And then I talked about the Fuse staking contract, which this is on Fuse sidechain. Basically, it's similar to the simple staking contract, but this time people can stake Fuse. Instead of Compound, if we had Compounds on Fuse, we have the Fuse consensus contract, and we delegate the Fuse that people stake. We delegate it to one of the nodes. Currently, I tested it on our foundation node and Bertrand node, so in return, the Fuse staking contract earns the staking rewards, and the Fuse staking contract then uses Fuse swap to buy back GoodDollar's from the liquidity pool in exchange for Fuse, and then those GoodDollar's again are being sent to the UBI smart contract, and this is in addition to the GoodDollar's that are there from the previous from the usual staking contract on mainnet.
Yeah, I came in at that part. That makes sense. So the Fuse staking contract at the beginning is again another front end where your people are sending their Fuse to, and then you auto kind of delegate that to your validator nodes or the GoodDollar community validator nodes.
Then we're going to we're gonna delegate those Fuse to nodes, to validator nodes of Fuse, earn and the contract itself will earn interest, and it will buy back GoodDollar's with this interest. And again, also in the future, the users that stake, maybe they will have the option to also earn Fuse from get back some of those staking rewards. And currently, like 100% is being donated.
Yeah. So there's also an arbitrage opportunity, because from the
Right.
Fuse staking, you could look at the Fuse swap and see whether it's more economical to buy GDollar direct rather than going through the. Yeah,
Yes.
there probably is an arbitrage opportunity
Yeah,
there,
there is.
isn't there?
So, like I said, I wrote in like here when I summarize it. One of the things that people can do is provide liquidity to this pool, and because there's an arbitrage opportunity from mainnet to buy GoodDollar's on mainnet and bring them over to Fuse, and also make some profit from both from the arbitrage and both from supplying liquidity.
So hypothetically speaking, if I hold an equal amount of DAI and Fuse right now, which one would provide the higher rate of return as far as interest being distributed as UBI?
It's a good question. I didn't check it out yet. The Fuse staking contract is not finalized yet.
Okay.
It's also not. Fuse isn't a stable
it,
coin, so
it's a good question. Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. Well, I guess it depends how much you're staking, but I actually think that Fuse probably generates more interest.
Okay.
So at the moment, I think the APR is about 80% on Fuse, but obviously it's not a stable coin, so the token price is variable. Whereas if you go into Compound and DAI, I think you get a fairly fixed rate. There's about 3-4% or something. So
I guess there's no comparison.
I see the major advantage being for people that maybe want to stake much smaller value amounts. They don't have to deal with the main net fees. So they could stake a very, very small amount of Fuse, or convert their GoodDollar's, small amount of GoodDollar's to Fuse, and then stake those and benefit the whole ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's I suppose the power of FuseNet is the transaction fees are so small, so you can deal with microtransactions. I think I raised it with Toma about at some stage FuseNet is going to raise its transaction fee, so that may come into it at some stage as to what's, but it'd still be very, very low. But obviously it's a consideration to bear in mind, I think. But it'll still be significantly less than XDAI.
Mark will have to give us some more Fuse tokens then.
Yeah. He gave a different answer to that. Something about eToro being listed or something. I don't know, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, or eToro, I don't know. And but you know, once we get there, hopefully GoodDollar will be a multi-blockchain protocol, and they will be, and maybe it will be self-sustainable. You know, we won't need eToro or.
I'm interested in the keeper part.
The keeper. As I said, it's not yet finalized, but basically, I don't know if you're familiar with the Keeper. The word Keeper is from the Keeper network. It's a project now that a lot of projects, because you don't have automatic, you can't have automatic transactions on the blockchain. You can't set, I want to do a transaction in 20 minutes or something like that, or once a day. You have to get someone to trigger this transaction on the smart contract at the specific time that you want it to happen. So keepers are those people that are doing those, making sure that those smart contracts are performing those actions, and they earn a fee. So this time, basically, most of the keeping we do, we have our backend that does the keeping, but this time I wanted to gamify it a little bit more. So the action to take the fuse from that is earned daily, the fuse for the staking rewards that are earned daily, you need to trigger the method that buys from FuseSwap, that buys the $GoodDollar's from FuseSwap, and then transfer them to the UBI contract. So what I did that whatever the amount of $GoodDollar's that are bought, then 0.03% will be sent back to the address that triggered the action. So yeah, if you are long on the $GoodDollar's, you can do that and earn a little bit.
Yeah. Is there a document about how to set that up anywhere?
There will be documentation. Like I said, the Fuse staking contract is not finalized yet. But once I deploy it, there will be a documentation. There's another keeping on Fuse that you can do. And I actually think I'm not sure that there's a documentation for that, but maybe there is. We have to keep, how the daily UBI pool is being, the amount of UBI that we deliver every day, the $GoodDollar's. Basically, it's the product of the amount of current $G in the pool divided by the amount of active users. And active users are defined as users that claimed at least once in the last 2 weeks. It means that every day, once you claim for 2 weeks, every day you're saved a spot, right? You're saved a spot. But once you're not active, then if you're going to try and claim, you will see that you will get only one $GoodDollar. That's because you're inactive and you didn't get your spot saved for that day. And actually, this one $GoodDollar comes from a different pool that we funded. So in order to keep, again, in order to switch a user from an active state to an inactive state, this also has to be triggered with an external entity. It can't happen automatically on the blockchain. Someone has to trigger this action. We call it phishing, and you can find accounts that are no longer claiming actively, and you can phish them, and you get their daily UBI as a reward for making someone inactive, which means that the next day the pool for everyone else will be bigger. The daily UBI quota will be bigger for everyone because it's divided by less active users. So as a reward, you get their daily UBI because we save them a spot every day. So once you turn a user from the active state to inactive state, you get their UBI quota for that day, for that specific day. So this is also a way to earn some rewards in GoodDollar. I don't know if there's a documentation for that, but you can contact me later. I can point you to our to the source code. It's open source, so you can see how we do it on our backend.
What's the basic tech? Because I use Python for basic.
Well, we write it in JavaScript, but it's a little bit more complicated than that because you have to you have to keep track of the status of the users, or you have to actively search for users that are inactive. It's not that straightforward, but I'd be happy to discuss it deeper if you're interested. You know, we can schedule a meeting. And if we're talking about scheduling meetings, then you can schedule a meeting with me, 30 minutes, if you need advice or you want to go over code or anything, and it's only $50 good. So if you need anything that technically related, or if you just want to talk the philosophy of UBI, I'm happy to spend my time on that also. And again, only $50 good.
Or 1,000 a day.
Hadar, I'm waiting the moment to have a profundous talk, a deep talk about the ethics in the DeFi, you know, because, but this is not the moment, but yeah, I just want to open the issue, no? Because sometimes we don't know where this money people is putting to generate the interest, where this money is coming from. We don't know if there's white money without any problem, or money that is coming for weapon traffic or drugs or whatever. No, this is one thing I have in my head, how to control that, no? How to introduce the ethics in the blockchain. It's the same problem that happens with the models in the artificial intelligence. Where is the ethics? How can we bring the ethics there? So that this is my worry now. How can we be sure that the ethics is present in this blockchain? I don't want the answer now, but it's something that I'm just thinking. I wanted to share it with you.
So I think that again, we are we are just in the beginning of the whole blockchain thing, and as we are going to see more, there are going to be more projects that you will be able to, and specifically when stocks and the shares are going to be tokenized, it will be much easier, especially for projects like GoodDollar, to invest in DeFi that's more ethical, DeFi that's doing, I don't know, green energy or cooperatives. And I actually think that the moment that shares are going to be tokenized, I think this is an opening for to do, like, to make sure that things are going to be ethic. Well, basically because once shares are being tokenized, then it will be very easy to pool funds from a lot of people and buy those shares and basically turn the governance of the shares, which is a private governance at the moment, turn it into a cooperative or into a democratic institution, simply by all of the citizens pooling their funds together, buying more stocks of Amazon, more stocks of Google, whatever, and using those shares in a pool on the blockchain. And all the voting will be also, instead of the board doing the voting, the citizens will decide that whatever they vote together on the blockchains, this is the decision of their board member or whatever. So I think hopefully
it's a very good point of view. I like your vision. I like your vision. Brilliant, really speaking.
Basically it's from
Thanks, Hadar.
basically it's from Yanis Varoufakis. He was talking about he has a new book, Another Now, where it's like a science fiction book about how the what could have happened if in 2008 capitalism broke down. And so he has a few ideas for how to make, he thinks that the revolution should be using the economic tools against those that are in power.
You say Hadar, is it from Varoufakis or from whom?
Yeah, Yanis Varoufakis, the ex
Yeah,
minister.
okay. Thank you. I'll find it.
And who is Alvaro Lopez? You have a picture of Silvio Gesell there.
Yeah, no, it's Nikola Tesla.
Yeah, it's Tesla, right? Sorry.
Yeah, actually,
same.
Yeah.
Okay,
any more questions?
Yes, a last question, Hadar. Speaking about Silvio Gesell, did you throw any moment to introduce the oxidation of the money in order to avoid that people will, sorry for my English, accumulate it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, we actually had these discussions a lot with Yoni, about demurrage or interest and all those things. And basically, eventually, I think that I don't know the answer, but I think that diluting, that because we print more GoodDollar's, so I think it has the same effect. I think it's only psychological, because when you see your money, the difference, I think, is psychological. When you see, if you see your bank account, shrinking, then you will want to spend it more. But I think because we print more GoodDollar's, then we dilute it. So you also don't have a very large incentive to hoard. But it's a good question, we don't know. But, hopefully, those questions will be raised by the GoodDollar citizens. And real soon, it will be, like a DAO on the blockchain, and people maybe will decide one day that we want to introduce demurrage.
And talking about DAO, you can say more already about it?
Yeah, sure. So we finalized the specs for the first, we call it version 0.1. So in the first version of the DAO, currently we'll airdrop reputation for there are 3 groups: people that claim. So the more you claimed in the past, we'll announce it. I guess we'll announce a time frame where you can start to collect reputation, and then we'll airdrop it. So basically, the more you claim, the more reputation you will get. So there will be 3 pools of reputation, 3 equal pools. 1 pool for the claimers, 1 pool for the foundation, and 1 pool for people that hold GoodDollar. Those are the 3 groups that will start with reputation. So it will be 33% for each group. From that moment, after we do the airdrop, any upgrade that we do to the code currently that the foundation does. Every upgrade will need to be voted by the community. We are starting with the model of compound, basically. It means there's you know, in order to make a proposal, you need at least 1% of the votes. In order for a proposal to pass, you need 3%. We decided to go with this model for the beginning. Of course, everything can be upgradable in the future, and I very much like, you know, the DAO stack, we are built on DAO stack. I very much like the protocol, but it's very complicated. So we decided in the beginning to start with something simple that people can comprehend. So this will be the first version. In the long run, the second version, we envision it as as people, that there will be a constant flow, constant minting of reputation, and it will be each month be divided by the people that claimed this month. And also there will be another pool for people that stake good dollars. You will be able to stake your good dollars and also earn reputation. The foundation, the amount of reputation that is given to the foundation and to the people that stake good dollar will decline, and in the future the majority of power will be in the hands of the claimers. So it's sort of a curve that goes down for the foundation and the good dollar stakers. Yeah, we want to make it different, you know, not $1, one vote, but more closely to one person, one vote. But of course, you have to. I do believe, you know, I think that there is room for there is room in the middle between. I think I like the notion of you know, there are like ideas like fair shares, that you give shares to the community, shares to the suppliers, you give shares to everyone, to all the key stakers, and so everyone gets a say in how things are going. So I think it will be a good compromise between one person, one vote, and between $1, one vote, somewhere in the middle. So I started coding the reputation contract and the voting, and basically it's also supposed to be out by the end of the first quarter. Thank you very much.